Welcome back to Karsch and Anderson show here on 97.1. Gator with you, and Stoney in for Doug Karsch. Gang and Kenny behind the glass. Stoney, you brought this up to me this morning. It's something I don't really know about. I'm curious. We do enjoy having some fun and frivolity on the show. I think this fits into that category. What are we doing here with a blind ranking?
Okay, so when I've subbed for Rico, I think we did 3 of them, blind rankings they were football analysts and football play-by-play guys, and I forgot what the third one was. So I said to Mike, let's save it for when I'm in for Rico. We can do it, occasionally when I come in.
All right.
And then I find out that they cheated on me yesterday. So,
yeah. So this is a little spiteful here.
Yeah, so we're going to do a blind ranking. The hell with them.
All right,
since it's my deal anyway. Now, this one's not a frivolity one. This is a serious sports one.
Oh, serious sports.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you know me. I'm very serious.
I know. Okay. So blind ranking means there's going to be 10 names on this list, and you have to name them from top to bottom, like who's the best, and they're all really good.
Just gonna.
Okay, so it's very tough.
Get this ready to type out. Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
I am ready.
These are the top 10 U.S.-born hockey players. Okay? And then you have to rank them.
So this is my ranking? Or is this,
no, it's your ranking.
So it's not done by points. It's just who I think.
No, it's who you think.
And this is of all time.
Of all time.
Oh, boy.
So we'll start off with maybe a controversial one, but I don't know. Tom Barrasso.
Yeah, I'm not a Tom Barrasso fan. Being a Red Wing fan, Tom Barrasso was a goaltender with Pittsburgh. I believe he won the Calder Trophy over Steve Yzerman, if I'm not mistaken. So there's always that kind of a bias. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put Barrasso at 9.
Okay. All right, let's do a...
Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess. So this is how this works.
Yes.
You give me the name, and I figure out what number. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do... what the hell? He was in the news yesterday, sort of. Mike Modano.
Mike Modano, he's great. Obviously, local guy. Mm-hmm. Began his career with the Minnesota North Stars. I figure if he was drafted the 88 draft or the 89 draft. I think it was the first pick in the 88 draft. I was a big fan of his. I think because he was a local guy. He had great hair. Mm-hmm. Married Willa Ford.
That's right.
Very attractive Willa Ford.
And she was here.
I believe he divorced Willa Ford as well.
Yeah.
She was with him when he was here too, right?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I know she was in the Friday the 13th remake.
Because there were a lot of, Stacia Robitaille was very nice looking. They were what the Wings had at that time.
It was,
the wag. They had very strong wags.
Finished his career as a Red Wing, so that was interesting. Modano's one of the all-time greats. Is he number 1? Is he? No, you know what? I'm going to go number 2 for Mike Modano.
Okay. Next on the list, Austin Matthews.
Wow. Totally forgot about Austin Matthews. He's only halfway through his career, and he's already putting up crazy, crazy numbers. Mm-hmm. What he doesn't have are Stanley Cups. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put Austin Matthews. I think he's phenomenal. I'm going to put Austin Matthews at 3.
3. Okay. Next up.
I think I'm putting am I painting myself in a corner? Is this how this goes?
Maybe.
Okay.
Phil Housley.
Love Phil Housley. Winnipeg Jets, defenseman.
Buffalo.
Yeah, that too.
Minnesota.
Phil Housley is one of the most underrated players in the history of the NHL. Phil Housley, Dale Hawerchuk, those guys just went completely under the radar. I love Phil Housley. I'm going to put him at 6.
Okay. Let's stay.
Very offensive-minded defenseman.
All right. Jeremy Roenick.
JR. I was a big JR fan. Mm-hmm. Big Jeremy Roenick fan. I get the feeling that Jeremy Roenick is also a big Jeremy Roenick fan, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Years ago, when he was playing with Phoenix, was probably the 2002 season, the Red Wings Stanley Cup year. I think it was around that time. I interviewed him before a game, And he had, as a free agent, had signed with Phoenix. And I asked him, I said, did you ever give consideration to coming and signing in Detroit? And his response was, oh, yeah, man, it's Hockey Town, baby. Of course I did. And I'm like, I love this guy. I wish the Red Wings had this guy. But they do not have this guy. I'm going to go, I'll put JR at 5.
Okay. It's very funny because I had a similar interview experience with him at the celebrity golf outing in Tahoe. We were there covering it.
Oh, great.
And it was his free agent year.
Yeah.
And he ended up going to Philly. And I said, why not Detroit? And he said, I'm not a huge goaltend. I don't like their goaltending. And then like 2 weeks later, they signed Hasek.
Well, there you go.
All right.
Well, they traded for Hasek, yeah.
Yes. This guy is, I think, underrated. But you might even be surprised I'm bringing him up. Joe Mullen.
Joey Mullen from the Pittsburgh Penguins back in the day. Part of those great Stanley Cup championship teams they had in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. Joe Mullen's great. Did he have a neck roll?
He might have.
He wore the neck roll, I think. Was part of that team with Kevin Stevens.
He had over 500 goals, too, if I'm not mistaken.
He may have. He's another underrated.
Born in Hell's Kitchen area of New York City.
Another underrated player. I'm going to put Joe Mullen at 7.
Oh, boy.
Or Joey Mullen, as they used to say.
All right, so we have, one?
Was he with Calgary, too?
Yeah, 1, 4, and 3. No, 1, whatever. There we go.
I have 9, 7, 6, 5, 3, and 2.
No, you've right.
Sorry.
Do 8 still. All right. Brian Leetch.
Brian Leetch, defenseman from the New York Rangers. Ken, you'll appreciate this. When I was collecting hockey cards in the 90s, I would go to all types of card shows, and one of the cards I would get, rookie cards I would get, was Brian Leetch. I probably have close to a dozen Brian Leetch rookie cards.
Hall of Famer, Norris Trophy.
He's a great player.
Stanley Cup.
He might
have won the Conn Smythe that year. Maybe.
I'm going to put Brian Leetch at 4. I mean, he's just all around great player.
Okay.
Yeah. Big fan of Brian Leetch.
Jonathan Quick.
I'm so glad I did this. The way that I've done this. I'm going to put Jonathan, the netminder from the LA Kings. Does he have 1 or 2 Stanley Cups?
He's got 2 with them, I believe, right? And he's got 1 as a backup for the Golden Knights.
Yeah, I don't like Jonathan Quick. He's 10.
Okay. All right.
It probably deserves a higher ranking on there with his accolades, but I'm not a big fan of goalies in general.
So we have 1 and 8 left, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1 and 8. I've got 2 guys left.
Okay.
I've painted myself in a corner right now.
Well, for one of them you did, I think. Patrick Kane.
Patrick Kane, I'm going to go with number 1.
Right.
And not because he's a Red Wing, just because his body of work is incredible. The Stanley Cups he won with Chicago, first pick overall. I thought it was interesting. The narrative they're giving last night was, and everybody gave up on him as a teenager. I'm like, he was a teenager when he was drafted first overall. What are we talking about?
I know.
Just a phenomenal player, the 500 goals. Now he's the all-time leading scorer for U.S.-born players in NHL history. Patrick Kane is the best U.S.-born player.
Okay, so at 8, there's somebody you probably want to, if you could move him up higher, you would. Yeah. You know who it is?
Not yet, no.
Chris Chelios.
Yeah, I would have had Chelly higher, but maybe not as high as you think.
Okay, so he's 8.
Where would I? Yeah, he's at 8. I've got him locked in at 8, and right. I do like Chris Chelios. Right. I like Chelly a lot. The longevity is amazing. Mm-hmm. That guy had 3 acts in his career, in his NHL career, starting with Montreal. I mean, he played college hockey.
He won a cup with Montreal.
Yes, he won a cup with Montreal in '86, and then goes to Chicago
for Dennis Savard.
Is one of the most historic antagonists in Red Wing history. When he went to the Hawks, I absolutely despised that Chicago team. Mm-hmm. Like, Chicago took over for me as like the number 1 rival. No, Toronto is it was Chicago for me, and a lot of it was based on.
Well, they were in the same division.
They were in the same division, yeah. But I mean, so was Toronto. It was the old Norris division. But at the time when he went to Chicago, that's also when Sega Genesis came out. And Sega Genesis had the NHL hockey, which was fantastic. And you could check people, and they'd lie on the ice, and you'd see blood come out and stuff like that. And they'd bring an ambulance on the ice. It was great. And the fighting was phenomenal. when you played against Chicago, Chelios was just always hammering you into boards. And if Chelios checked somebody, there was like a 20% chance that person would get knocked out of the game when you're playing the game, the video game. So I didn't like him with that. And then you're watching the actual games, and that guy was just taking liberties with Steve Yzerman and Sergei Fedorov and all the great skill players the Red Wings had. Ray Shepard and Paul Eisebart, all those guys back in the early 90s period.
And he had his career hit his third act here.
Yeah, and then he gets traded to the Red Wings in that amazing 1999 trade deadline day where the Red Wings ended up getting Wendell Clark and
Bill Ranford,
Ulf Samuelsson, and Chris Chelios. And they gave up a lot of capital to get Chris Chelios.
Anders Eriksson.
Well, there was a lot of draft picks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And Chelly was really good as a Red Wing, but he was nowhere near the player that he was. He was. I don't want to say he was a shell.
He was Hall of Famer.
He was phenomenal. He played till he was like 75. So
from the bottom up,
and he still looks great.
So your rankings I'm glad you didn't mention his Thrasher act. All right, from the bottom up, yours: Jonathan Quick, Tom Barrasso 9, Chris Chelios 8, Joe Mullins 7, Phil Housley 6, Jeremy Roenick 5, Brian Leach 4. Austin Matthews 3, Mike Modano 2, Patrick Kane 1. Now, I'm sure people are going to be texting, so I know that there are other people that could be on this list and just didn't make it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear those.
For instance, Keith Kachuk and Matthew Kachuk.
Yeah, Keith Kachuk was a great one.
Mike Richter, Connor Hallebuck.
Yeah.
Among others.
248-539-9797 is the telephone number. I appreciate that, Stoney. I liked it. That's the first foray I've gone into with the blind ranking.
Yes.
The blind ranking. You want to comment where I got it right, where I got it wrong? Who'd Stoney leave out? We can do that.
Tim Thomas, I might have left out.
Tim Thomas, right? Another netminder
from Flint.
He was a local guy, right? Yeah. Well, Michigan guy.
Yeah.
Sounds great. 97.1.